I'm glad to be here. It's a first for both of us then. This
Yes.
is my first time at a radio station.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna pretend like we're actually on air.
Okay.
So I'm Jhamesha, and I'm here with.
Marico the Shogun.
And tell us what you do for our listeners.
I'm a musical artist, and by that I mean that sometimes I'll rap, sometimes I'll sing. It just depends on what mood I'm in.
So my first question is, you look so different, and I'm very curious. What's your background?
Oh my goodness. I appreciate that. But I am, my dad, my biological father is Italian.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, she likes me to say Afro-Canadian because like there's Barbados in there, and there's like I'm pretty sure there's like Native Canadian and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I identify as Jamaican because like I used to live there. I was raised.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You were born in Jamaica?
I was born in Canada. However, my stepfather, who was there since I was born,
Mm-hmm.
he took care of me, everything. And as I said, my mom's from the islands, you know, like she has Jamaican roots too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was about 4 years old, they met while he was on a vacation visa, so he had to go back. So when I was 4 years old, I went with him and I was living with him, and she came and she visited and stuff, but she wanted me to experience what it's like, you know?
So you went there.
And yeah, and it's funny because I don't remember some things when I was like 7 years old or whatever, or when I was like 8.
Mm-hmm.
But all like the most vivid memories I have from being a kid are when I was in Jamaica, like 4 years old, you know?
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so how long have you been doing music for, and how did you get started in the first place?
I have been doing music all my life, actually. I used to like write my mom's songs. Like if I was grounded, I'd write her like a sorry
so
song.
Cute.
Oh,
Oh my
no.
God. What would
But-
she say? She'd be like, "Hey, you're not grounded no more."
Well, like halfway through, she'd be like, okay. Like, I've had enough. Because my mom, everybody in my family, they all love music, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother tried to sing. Nanny, I'm sorry. But my aunt is an amazing singer, and she's recorded, like, songs and stuff like that. My mother is an amazing singer as well. She never really pursued it. So she had me at 18 years old, you know?
Okay, yeah, I get it. My mom got me at a young age too.
Young too. So my mom, when I was young, there's videos of me. There's like, I have CD-ROMs and I have videos. I have all that. My mom would have me sit down with her on the computer, and she'd have me sing Usher, like Let It Burn or something like that. And she'd record me, and if I did it wrong, she'd like show me where I did wrong. And like my mom taught me how to sing. Like I've never really done professional vocal lessons. It was all my mom, you know? So with that, like, music's always been something that I've done as a part of my life, you know? I actually only started rapping because I was, like, afraid of what my friends would think of me singing, you know? Like, I wrote my first rap in math class in grade 10 because, like, I realized I was like, man, I'm not doing music. I'd love to make music, but, like, I'm not going to go out and be an R&B singer, you know? And then once I, like, established myself in the rap game, I was like, who cares what anybody else
Yeah,
says?
you're good anyway.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You have a really like music-oriented family, eh? So like,
I do.
is your aunt like aunt whatever? Is she like known?
I wouldn't say known.
Like she has like a fan base?
She had children, and she doesn't really like do music anymore, you know? But in her heyday, back in the day, she was that, like, when she was recording, she used to live in Montreal and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
when
good.
she was
That's great.
popping. Shout out on Franny.
Who are the first influences on your music and your style?
My dad, my stepdad, my mom, as I just said, and my dad. It's funny because I ask them all the time, I'm like, what did your parents listen to? And they're always like Pink Floyd or like, you know?
Really? Like those rock bands?
Yeah, but my dad and I, our activity that we used to do, like throughout our life, he used to fix cars and computers and that. So I'd sit next to him and pretend I knew what I was doing, you know? And he's just a Jamaican guy, like he'd smoke, you know? He's there. And he'd be, instead of bumping Pink Floyd and all that, I'd hear Biggie or I'd hear Tupac or Nas, you know? So I knew who all those people were when I was like 4, 5, 6 years old, you know? And I knew lyrics to songs like Who Shot Ya and stuff like that I probably can't even remember now, but I was like rapping it, trying to get my dad to like, I was like, Dad, look at this, you know?
That's sick.
Hey, thank you.
Stuff. You performed, eh?
Yes.
How is it? Tell me.
Performing is amazing.
How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel a few ways. It's a nostalgic, cause I used to be in musicals and stuff like that. That's what like I used to get on stage at church and stuff.
Like
And
choir and stuff.
you know, and I used to in grade 7 I was actually in a recreation of High School Musical.
See word.
I swear, and they didn't cast me as a who I wanted to be casted. And you guys know you should have. You only didn't cast me as Troy because I didn't look like Troy and I had an afro.
Who were you? Were you?
I was Zeke.
Is that the black guy?
Zeke is the guy that bakes cakes.
Oh.
And
that guy.
And they brought in like some like theater lady from Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And she came into our school. Like, this is the only ever vocal training I've ever had, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she gave us like a few tips and all that. And whenever I was singing, she low-key tell me, she's like, you're the best one. And then one time we were doing,
so nice.
yo, it was so sick. And then we were doing the number. We were just doing like some number, and they were sitting watching us rehearse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started singing, she's like, woo, started clapping and stuff like that. It made me feel nice. So that led to my confidence. Whenever I was getting ready to do my first rap show, people were like, oh my goodness, like, are you ready? And I'm like, well, I've done it before. I've performed in front of hundreds of people before, you know, in singing competitions and all that. So the second thing it makes me feel, people always ask me, am I nervous before the show? I'm not really nervous about performing. I'm more nervous that everything goes right, that my voice doesn't crack, that the sound guy has everything right, that, you know what I mean, that nothing goes wrong. Exactly. So I just hope and pray that everything goes well. And the third thing, that when I'm on stage, like, I don't know where the energy comes from. Sometimes I can be so tired, and then as soon as I get on stage,
you're just pumped.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. And I don't know.
You're just excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any tips for aspiring artists, rappers, whatever, that are going to perform? Do you have any tips for them?
That are going to perform? Let me think of something that not everybody's going to say.
Take your time.
Because everybody's going to say practice.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Yeah, and everybody's going to say, I don't know. Okay, this is something that I fall victim to sometimes because you can cheat, but...
What do you mean?
I'll elaborate. If you're going to make a song, for example, if you make a song with a crazy, like Kendrick Lamar style verse, and, you know, you have to sit there in the studio and be like, okay, let me get the take, you know? And you use every last bit of your breath, you know? Like, go ahead and do that, right? But keep in mind when you go to perform, when you're moving around with the mic in your hand, whether or not you're jumping or whatever, performing on stage and actually enunciating your words and all that, it's a bit different than being in a studio setting. So when you're making a track, there's other things you could do. You can have somebody catch your words. You can have the words playing in the back, all in all, you know? But I would like to say, stay within, like, your boundaries, you know? Because, take my word for it or not, but, like, I even went to go see the Bryson Tiller show, right? And he may not have gone up to every note that he does in his regular songs, but whenever he was singing, it was authentically him. It wasn't the speakers in the back. It wasn't his DJ catching his notes. It was actually him. You could hear him, and you could connect with the audience a lot more. And that's where you see people going and they're performing to their song. Like somebody puts on their song and they perform to it, and their lyrics are in the back. Like, go ahead and do that if you want, but I'm telling you, it doesn't sound as good, you know? Even if you get your engineer to turn your vocals down, like, halfway, whenever the audience can hear your voice, that's the best thing. So, yeah, sometimes when I'm performing, I'll even just perform on the beat itself, you know, and do everything myself, depending on what track it is, right?
That's what makes it authentic.
Exactly, right?
What do you think of the hip-hop scene in Ottawa?
I am very proud of Ottawa right now.
Really? Have you ever worked with anybody?
I've worked with a lot of
I know. I've seen your tracks. I just don't know them.
I actually, one thing, I don't know if you're my fan. I don't know if you've ever noticed this or not.
I am your fan now.
Oh, you are? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness, I'm a fan of you guys. Okay,
Yes,
I will be back.
CHUO.
I'll say that right now. But I don't know if you've ever noticed, as a fan of mine out there, anybody listening, if you look at every discography of mine, look for one feature. I did it before Cole did. Before he dropped Forest Hills. No, I think he dropped Forest Hills Drive. And then I dropped my first album. But they were very close together. And I wasn't even trying to copy Cole, but it's just like, yo, I understand where he's coming from in the sense that, like, yo, sometimes I have a vision for a track. And yo, Shogun featuring Shogun, But anyways. But again, I have worked with RBLX. Those are my homeboys. I'm part of RBLX. I have a tattoo of RBLX on my chest.
Ooh. Oh, is it the X?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different than everybody else's, but yeah, RBLX are my homeboys. Shout out SVDM. Shout out Zouave. Shout out OG. Shout out Jerry. Shout out. Shout out Calvin, Kenny, everybody. Everybody. And shout out Unholy Era. I've worked with them too. Cole Silve. I've worked with a lot of auto people. But the thing is, I know them all outside of music.
Since back in the day.
So their relationships are organic, But then again, people will hit me up and ask me to be on their albums, but I'm just, names are falling short right now.
It's
Bromar, okay. Shout out Bromar. Shout out The Cave. Shout out Storybook Productions. I've worked with all of them, But, yeah, RBLX is the main one that I've worked with.
Yes.
The group. It's a group.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
They are. However, a lot of names that are coming to mind aren't musical people. It's more or less like Amir Zagara, the designer. Zagara clothing label, shout out. We've done collaborations. We've done hats with them, T-shirts with them. He has a store, 179 George Street. You should go check it out. I spent a lot of my money there. You have a lot of my money, Zagara. But yeah. To be honest with you, I don't think a lot of people deserve a shout out.
Oh, ouch. That's going to hurt some people, but it's okay.
I know it.
Honesty is the best policy.
Exactly. No, I'm just forgetting. If I forget your name, don't worry. There'll be more interviews to come.
Yes.
And shout out my family. Shout out my mom.
You write your tracks, right?
Yes, 100%. Well, I won't lie. When I'm doing tracks with RBLX, I'll take inspiration from them. Like, I've taken a hook from OG before. Oh, geez.
What's your songwriting process like? What inspires you when you're writing?
Nobody's ever asked me this before.
It's very important to know.
It's very important. Okay. Whenever I hear a beat, I don't like hearing it. In my opinion, whenever you hear a beat, the first idea that comes to mind is going to be the most genuine and the most organic, right? Yeah. So whenever I hear a beat, usually I like to write down the first idea that comes to mind, whether or not I use it, I always try to come in strong. You can never come in boo-boo. You can never come in. I always try to come in with a bang because it captivates the audience's ear, So my opening line is probably the line that I spend a lot of my time on writing, thinking about. Like, even as simple as, like, I'm coming out with a song, spoiler alert, and it goes, I got so many ideas, man, I should probably write a book. Simple as that, Like, that line even by itself, it's something that's going to make people, I don't know. I'm not trying to sound like I'm gassing myself up, right?
It's okay. It's okay. It's all good.
So I write that down. Obviously, you build on it. You try to rhyme, But, yeah, so I listen to the beat once, maybe twice, turn it off, write down every idea I have. Then I listen to the beat over and over and over again. Whatever else comes to me. But you have to learn the beat for what it is in the ins and outs and the instruments and stuff like that. Because I was actually with one of my friends the other day, and he said it's kind of weird that this happens. But I listen to a beat 5 times, and it's not like I can, like, beatbox it, but I don't need to listen to it anymore in order to write to it. Because I already have the, like, head. You know what I mean? I have the tempo and all that, right? So more or less, like, if I'm by myself, I'll definitely pause the beat, put headphones in, sit there, smoke a little bit, do my thing or whatever. And there's a lot more concentration that goes into it when I'm by myself.
Yeah, of course. because you no distractions.
Exactly, right? It helps to work on a phone because you can look at the keyboard, and I have a technique where, okay, there's the word faded here. Let's say I couldn't think of something that rhymes with faded. You go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, baited, cated, dated, you know?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, and
actually,
that's what I do, and I go through the whole alphabet until I find something like jaded. Okay, jaded will work, you know? Boom. Write that down. And then I have all the words that rhyme, and you can make your lines with that, you know? So I use a lot of dashes, a lot of underlines, a lot of slants to tell me when to pause. Let's say it was a flow where I'm going then I'll put hyphens in between the words to tell me that that's what I meant. If I need to come in immediately, I'll put a little like star there that says like don't pause before you say this line, come in immediately, you know? Just little writing cues. You can make up your own little writing cues so that when I write down my ideas, I don't forget how it sounds, because I used to do that a lot. I used to write lyrics and be like, shit, what was the flow that I was using, you know? So I lay it out. Slant is when I stop and take a pause. Boom, 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 boom. And this way when I read it, and this is I can't read other people's raps because it's just all over the place. And I'm like, okay, where do I pause?
It's messy for you, right?
Exactly, right? Okay. So once I have my idea, always I try to make sure that my track, like, I try to make sure that it's about something, obviously, you know? But yeah, you learn the beat. And once you have the ins and outs of the beat, that's when I decide, okay, here's where I'm going to come in. Am I going to start with a verse or am I going to start with a hook? Am I going to say the hook twice? Is this what the producer wanted here? Like obviously when you listen to the beat, you can hear a bridge, you can hear a hook, you can hear this and that. Sometimes it drops and it's energy and then it calms down. So whenever I hear that, it just like, it points to, okay, he wanted the hook at the beginning with all the energy that goes into the verse, you know? So you just analyze it, you learn the beat, and that's where you put your lyrics in like puzzle pieces, you know?
Wow, you're very good at this.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. To be honest, I don't feel like I'm even being recorded right now, so that kind of helps too.
Yeah, it's chill.
But yes.
How do you overcome creative blocks? Like, you know, when you're like recording or whatever. Well, you don't freestyle, but
I do sometimes. I never said I don't freestyle.
Okay, no, I mean like I have a friend that raps and he just freestyles. Like he's in the studio and he just freestyles and then he fuck.
And then he messes around.
He messes up, and then after like those creative blocks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you overcome those?
So, with my ugly self, this isn't, I don't know if everybody's gonna be able to take this advice, but one thing that I do is, ever since I was a little kid, I've like loved superheroes and stuff like that. You know, I always, I have the things that I like, right? Whether or not it's basketball, shout out the Washington Wizards. Whether or not it's hockey, People, sometimes I look at people and I'm like I know I bounce all over the place, but I have a point to what I'm saying. I looked at somebody the other day. I was like, yo, did you see the game? He's like, why would I watch sports? For human beings, they're literally to keep us in good spirit, to distract you from work. When I get home and I go on World Star, it's not like World Star is the most important thing to me in the whole entire world, but it just helps me forget about my day of work that I just had, all that, right? So sometimes you see people who they used to love something and they just quit it, you know? And I don't know. I pride myself on, even if you listen to my music, I'll always throw in references of like little superheroes and all that. Even your mental state or whatever. Let's say I can't write raps, I'll think, oh, maybe I'll go watch a movie or something like, or I'll go watch The Flash, you know? And it allows you to clear your mind for a second. And really, maybe you can take inspiration from even watching that, you know? But like, say I'm writing a song and I can't write lyrics anymore. You go on Twitter, boom, you're going down Twitter. Maybe you find an idea.
Right.
But you start enjoying yourself and you forget about, you know what I mean?
About what you were
your stress, you know? And then, who knows? You're going. You were trying to rhyme a word with all right.
Mm-hmm. And you, like,
Oh, boom, there it is, you know?
yeah.
But one thing, that's what I meant. This is what I meant when I said it probably won't work for everybody. Me, in my at my home studio that I go to,
Mm-hmm.
there's a PS4 right beside there's a PS4 there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you can smoke and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
My friend that I was writing with the other day said it's so weird because he was writing a song beside me with headphones in. I was writing a song, playing the new Call of Duty game,
Mm-hmm.
sitting there. Oh, dang. And I pick up my phone and I write a line quick.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm sitting there
That's
playing
good.
again, playing again, playing again. Because it's like when I'm playing, I get it. You know when you get into that mode, you're watching a movie and you feel like you're in the movie, like you forget you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
That focus, you know, getting your mind off something, like that's very important to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of things that I do worry about. I'm a very, like I worry a lot, you know?
Me too.
So
Trust me.
I'm always trying to, I don't know. I'm always trying to, I'm an
Distract?
astronaut, people call me, you know? But yeah, I'm a little spaced out, but you have to be
Yeah.
to be happy.
Exactly. How do you balance your music with other obligations like school or your job, or do you have a girlfriend and stuff like that?
I do not have school. I do not have a girlfriend. The only thing I really do is work. But I'm very, I can't even really answer that question because right now, I don't know if you know, like I don't really post things often on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I really do is work. However, I'm kind of bad at balancing my work and my music and my whatnot.
Mm-hmm. How come?
I'm very preoccupied and I get distracted easily, and I'll be like texting somebody and like forget they text me or whatever, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But aside from that, the way that I keep my mind, the way that I always come back to music, it's just the number one thing that I love. That's the only real answer that I have. I don't really have any advice that I can give to anybody on how to balance it. But as a kid, I grew up and I was a hobby collector. I call myself. I'd get good at something and I quit it, and get good at something again, I quit it. Like I was so preoccupied, you know. My mom said I was too busy-minded, you know.
Busy-minded.
So I don't know. I guess the only reason I really come back to music is because I love it, and you have to put your all into it, and you have to. That's where my heart is, you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you didn't quit that.
oh, thank you so much.
What's the motto or the advice that you live by?
That I live by.
Every
It is
day?
what it is.
It is. Why?
Cause is it what it's not?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Plain and simple. You can't be sitting there thinking it's not what it's not. Cause congratulations, then you played yourself, right?
Have you ever like been through anything that made you stick to that motto?
Yes.
You want to tell me or not?
Even though I'm 20 years old, I've been living on my own with roommates for like a long time. It interrupted my school and all that, right?
Mm.
So I don't know. I've had a lot of friends come and go. I've seen a lot of things, this, that, and another. There was a girl who stuck with me throughout that whole entire process. And then she got a really good job in Ottawa, and she did really well. So her boss promoted her and said, hey, listen, we're going to have you go and open up an office in Toronto. And she was only supposed to be there for a few months. Then it started doing really well. Then she signed a lease for a year. And we were like still continuing to talk and all that.
Did you go live with her?
No. I was still in Ottawa because I still have my job, right?
Yeah.
And then she would like start posting pictures with like some guy, a specific guy, and like videos and stuff. And they like work together or whatever. Long story short, I called her one day. I'm like, are you seeing somebody else? Like, am I wasting my time? Because legit, I actually have mad feelings. Like, I thought she was the one that I was going to marry, you know? And then she didn't even have enough respect for me as a person. Through all we've been through to even be straight up with me, you know?
Wow.
So she's like, I don't even know what to say to you. And I was like, well, should I give you a break? And she was like, yeah. And then I blocked her stuff just because I didn't want to see her social media. And then I looked at her social media maybe like 3 months ago, and she's wifed up now with this guy, you know? So she completely just like forgot about me, you know?
Disrespect.
So with all this stuff, you know, it's not that I'm saying like I don't have people who are there for me, because I have my dogs that roll with me through the whole time, who harbored me, sheltered me, fed me. My boy Jay Knight, shout out Jay Knights. He used to show up at my door with a container of food and give it to me and leave.
That's so
He'd be
nice.
like, yo, here. Okay, peace out. I gotta go. My boy Caden, who I live with right now, same thing. He, throughout my whole, they'd buy clothes for me. My first outfit I ever performed in, I'm airing myself out. My friend Graham bought the sweater. My friend Steven bought my earrings. You know, like I never really had money up until this album that I just dropped, right?
Mm-hmm. And you put it on Spotify and stuff like that?
Exactly,
You get
right?
money for that?
It was my friends. I just got a job just this year. I had money to reinvest in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind music, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I had to pay rent. I had to pay this. I had to buy clothes, groceries. It's not like I had money to go waste at a recording session, you know?
Right.
So this album was the album that everything changed. I finally started being able to flex, being able to buy myself stuff and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What? Before that, it was all my boys, you know? And throughout that, I have my school weighing on my head. I have my parents. I have this girl. I have a bunch of stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've just learned you have to look at things for how they are. Can't look at... I've been that guy that's like, oh, no, she still loves me. You know? But like, but I look like a complete idiot to everybody else because they're like, what is this guy thinking, you know?
Yeah.
Like, does he not see what's right in front of his face, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to know what's important. Your family, your future, all that stuff. Because I forgot about that for a long time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I just started telling myself, yo, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, like, you got to look at it for what it is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at it from all perspectives. Boom. And you be realistic with yourself and you go get it, you know? Yo, I feel like I'm rambling, bro.
No. That was a real ass answer. I liked it.
I appreciate that a lot.
Okay, so my next question is, what genre of music would you most identify with?
Identify with my music style?
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop, yeah.
Hip hop, okay.
Yeah.
What would you say that you mainly talk about in your music?
I like to leave a piece of myself on every track so you can get to know me. So even if you're listening to a song like Gerudo,
Mm-hmm.
like that came from Zelda. It's the Gerudo Valley in almost every Zelda game. Like, you should know I like Zelda at that point, you know? Yeah.
So basically just your story.
Yeah.
Okay. In your opinion, which song of yours do you think has an important or meaningful message? You know what I mean?
Stretch.
Stretch? What is... Can you tell me? What's the message?
What do I say?
Or what's the meaning?
Oh. I say, Che, all of that shady shit don't affect me. I'm just keeping it real. They just trying to get where I'm at so they can see how it feels. They got the image down pat. They just need them some skills. I'm in the streets where gully niggas come and meet for the deals. Mama about to lose her mind, knee deep in the bills. But every day my little sisters eat 3 different meals. I've seen pain cut so deep I don't think that it heals. And so much time passed by I never think that it will. But who's to say I never buy a Bentley? All I know is that when I do, my day one's gonna be riding with me. That get rich or die trying mentality, living like I'm 50. Them $100 bills nice and crispy. This life is risky. Da 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 da. But anyways, I start writing like that and leaving a piece of myself like that on every track because I like to show people my aspiration, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm writing about my mom, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But who's to say I never buy a Bentley, you know? But who's to say, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's about, I don't want to be stuck in this mentality and become like a statistic, you know?
Right.
And I feel like that's part of the message, the whole entire message of MTS2 is like, it's not like I'm flexing on people. It's not like I'm just saying I got watches and chains and cars and this. It's bigger than that. It's a mentality, you know? Like, you know, like,
I know.
I don't know how to explain it, but
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. You had an interview. Small World shared something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said you want to really show people what the city feels like. What does that mean? Like, what does the city feel like to you?
Yo, I know every city has its feeling, you know. But even as I was busing here today, like that crisp coldness in the air, the smell, you hear the OC Transpo bus coming.
Mm-hmm.
The Max Milk just closed down, so I can't even say that. But that's like an Ontario thing, you know.
The what? Sorry.
Max Milk. You know the store Max Milk, where everybody gets backwards.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, like American stores have like, you know what I mean. Everywhere has its own like signature things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yo, it's a feeling, it's a vibe. When it's dark outside,
there's a vibe.
and you're walking by Parliament Hill and they're doing the light show.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at all the old buildings that have been there for hundreds of years. And even down in the market, all the noise you hear, everybody, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like when you're in Ottawa, when you're in Toronto, you're in the six. You feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it in your bones, you know? It kind of feels like you're like on the moon, you know? It's like our city's so small but so big. And it's so known but so not, you know?
Yeah.
So like when you're here, you just got to appreciate it for what it is.
Right.
And
so many people say it's boring though.
But it's because they don't know what's going on. If you're driving down the Queensway and you're looking at all the lights, like you could blindfold me and bring me to 100 cities, and then bring me to Ottawa, and I'd be like, "Hey, this is the Queensway." You know, it's just like it's. I swear you got to come here to know what I'm talking about. Well,
it's your city, so obviously.
Listen to Ends to know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
When you listen to Ends,
that's my track.
Oh, you're the best. When you listen to Ends, you'll know what it feels like to walk down Rideau Street at nighttime.
I feel like downtown is really like the one place, because I live in Orleans.
Yeah.
And it's pretty whack, but I feel like downtown is like the only place where you could actually like feel like, oh my, and you see the lights.
Downtown is pretty cool, but the part of Ottawa where I'm from, the west side, is where it's happening. We just need a nightclub there. That's it. Yeah,
there's only nightclubs downtown, eh? Mostly.
Downtown is an area where everybody's so like interconnected, but they're also like there's so many different parts and so many this and that. In the west side, it's almost like everybody knows everybody. West Ottawa is its own thing. I'm talking about the Baseline, Green Bank area, Barrhaven, Stittsville, all that. People don't think that it's popping out there, but a lot of, even shout out Knight Lavelle. Knight Lavelle is from the west side of Ottawa.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Knight Lavelle. I know him. Yes.
I went to elementary school with him.
You know, like, do you work with? Like, are you gonna work with him?
See, the thing with him is, I understand. I'd like to think I understand his mentality when it comes to making music. Like, people try to get them to give him verses. They've never had a conversation with him in their life.
Yeah.
He's not like that, you know. I'm sure he would rather sit down and make a track because we're actually in the same environment. It's like, yo, you want to make some music? Or maybe he has a pre-existing relationship with somebody that, like Dylan Brady, you know, something like that. Like, you learn who they are on a personal level first before you start making any old song with them, you know? Again, he's skyrocketed, you know? Yeah, but again, every time I see him, I don't even talk about music. I talk about like family stuff, you know? Aside from the fact that his style is a lot different than mine, like, I don't know. I've never found myself in a studio with him. I've literally never ever picked up my phone and been like, yo, dude, you trying to give me a verse? Yeah. It's like, bro, I would never do that. I'll do it whenever we find ourselves in the studio one day, you know? Because that's my dog still. Like, he used to walk across the bridge, come knock on my door, and me and him would go walk to school together, you know? Really? Like, me and, bro, I've been knowing you. Don't forget I know you, bro. And anyways, enough love. Shout out Sherms. That guy he's amazing, you know? But I feel like the only reason we haven't worked yet is it's not the right time and place, you know? Yeah. Right.
So you've been making music for, like your whole life, like you said. How do you think your music changed, like like over time? Would you say that it changed, like you got better or something like that?
Yo, it still has the same organic, raw tone that it did before. It still has the same tone, but it's changed in the sense of like I've expanded my horizons a lot more and realized what I like to do and what I don't like to do. I'm not saying I would never. But I don't like beats that are in the major key. I don't like beats that are like happy, like I spy with my little eye.
I hate that song.
Yo.
Oh my god.
I don't know. You know those little like the bubblegum beats?
The upbeat songs?
Yeah, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I like dark, like grimy sounding beats because one thing I always say, like this side is the Marico this side, you know? Who I am, but then the Shogun comes out at night, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I'm performing, whenever I'm recording, that's the Shogun, you know? So whenever I hear a beat, it's like the bat signal, you know? You know when the bat signal goes up and it's like, okay, it's time.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I hear the beat, that's when the Shogun starts to come out, especially when it's like hard and there's like some keys in there, some dark sounding keys, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like. I don't even remember what the question was.
It was just, how did your music change?
Oh, yeah.
When you first started.
When I first started, I didn't use original beats. I never made a track like from scratch with somebody, you know. I love doing that now because then I can like oversee the process of what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Are you a musician?
Radio's my thing. Okay. You also, like, when you posted your recent is it EP or album?
Album.
Yeah.
I would like to say it's an album. It's a project because whenever I do end up gaining some ground in the industry and like actually do get some success, obviously I'm gonna release something that's gonna be my debut album.
Mm-hmm.
But Marico the Shogun and Marico the Shogun 2 are definitely two pieces of work. I can't call them mixtapes because yeah, I'd say they're albums. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. It says music changed your life, right?
100%, yes.
How? Like throughout the years
It
or the months?
It gave me something. First of all, again, as a jack of all trades and a master of none, as somebody who was so preoccupied as a kid and didn't really understand what I wanted to pursue yet, even the simple fact that it was the one thing that I came back to,
Mm-hmm.
that I've done all these years, that I've stuck to, oh my goodness. I shed tears when I hear... I listened to the intro of DJ Drama's project with Lil Wayne on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I cried. I cried tears because it's so good and it's so inexplainable. You know, my music teacher in high school said to me one time,
What?
music is the proof that God exists.
Wow.
Because how can you explain it?
True.
How? Like, there's no way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. You can go. Yeah. It's in the major. So and so on a scale of 1 to in the third time. No. Like, how are you gonna be able to? How are you gonna explain that somebody's ears, the feeling that it gives you, that a song can sound like the rain,
Right.
like a song can sound like a song could sound like a happy day, a sunny day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and like the feeling of, you know, yo, I woke up, and I saw that If You're Reading This Is Too Late dropped, and I didn't go to school.
You didn't go to school?
I stayed home and put headphones in and listened to it
all day.
I swear I listened to it front to back, did other things, smoked, and listened to it front to back again. It's music is an activity for me. I love it so much. It like keeps me sane, you know, calms me down, energizes me. It's the soundtrack to your life.
Right.
If you didn't have music, what would your life be?
Exactly. That's what makes an artist good, actually.
What?
Like, you know, being so into it and like the fact that you can't even like explain how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
That's amazing. I never really took that into account before, that is what makes an artist good.
Yeah.
Because then again, there is rappers in the rap game, and they say, I'm not even a rapper.
What do you think is necessary to your work as an artist? Like, what do you need when you're recording in the studio? What do you need when you're writing? What do you need when you do this and that? You know what I mean?
I need... I don't know if this qualifies as an answer. I need the freedom to, if I'm in an environment, to say, okay, everybody just hold on for a second. Or if I'm in an environment, okay, pause the beat for a second, or, you know, the not control over what's happening, but like, say I was sitting there and there was like somebody chainsawing, you know, like sure I'd be able to tune it out, but like, I don't know. I guess you could say I need like a peace of mind, you know?
Right.
And
yes.
I don't know, like that's
Yes.
the basic answer, the most basic answer.
That's a good answer. I like it.
I appreciate that.
Um, which aspect of the music making process excites you the most, and which aspect discourages you the most? If that makes sense.
The part that excites me the most is when everything comes together and I have an idea that, let's say, I just finished writing, just recited it in my head. Okay, it works. You rap it out loud. Okay, it works. You know,
Excited.
it's like you're at the starting line. You're about to take off. You know, then you record it. That's all exciting. You know, it's creative. You're trying new things, right? The most discouraging part for me is hearing it when it's played back if it's not the way I intended it to sound. Like if I had a vision in my head of how it was going to sound and then it didn't sound, even though I did everything perfectly fine, like it just doesn't sound the way it sounded when I was saying it in my head. And it makes me nervous releasing a track because even though you shouldn't care about what people think, I always find myself caring, you know? I always find myself like nervous that somebody is gonna, I don't know. I always find myself nervous, like, are people gonna like this, you know?
I think everybody's like that at some point, unless you just don't care at all about what you sound like.
A lot of people, I won't say they do, but I guess you could say they release not their best work, and that's something else I don't do. Like, why would I ever release something that's not my best work?
Exactly.
You know?
Okay, so I asked you who like influenced you and stuff, but which, like, somebody famous, who would you say that has, well, you said what you listen to doesn't reflect on your music, but, you know, somebody famous who you kind of look up to, sort of, that helps you.
Alive or dead?
Both, doesn't matter.
Biggie Smalls. Just a simple way that go listen to a Biggie song and try to rap like him, and you can, but you're not going to sound like him.
Exactly. Not at all.
And
he's a legend.
And here's the thing. In the Biggie versus Tupac debate, go ahead and blast me all you want, but I say Biggie Smalls, it takes number one for me. Even though they're both tied for number one, I like Biggie Smalls' music more because even the way he said, touch the cheddar, feel my Beretta bus. You know, like those kind of like little things that he does, you know? The way that you can take the English language and, you know, just there's one line that always, this one sticks in my head all the time. Smoking mad Newports cause I'm doing court for an assault that I caught in Bridgeport, New York. Like, that itself right there, the way he says it and everything, that is Biggie. That is him. Like that is a piece of him, you know? So, I don't know. I try to take that and do that in my my music.
Yeah.
Say things. People, when they're complimenting my music, they compliment my voice. They say I have a good voice for rapping. I didn't really know what that meant when I started rapping. I realize it now. It's the way you say things too, you know? And and that all ties in with what I was saying earlier with the effect that music can give you and put on you, you know? Like when somebody says a word differently than normal, creative, you know, uses their poetic license or whatever, you know? I learned that all from Biggie, I guess you could say.
That's good. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Like Court, Bridgeport, New York. Like, yeah, I can't even say it like he does, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But it's why British people, they sound so different too. Because just even putting your own personality in it, putting your own accent in it, and your own cadence and all that, you can find yourself rhyming other words that, like, that, you know what I mean? That, I don't know, that you would never ever find yourself rhyming. Skepta rhymes disgust me in country, but the way he does it, I would have never thought of it.
Yeah.
You know?
And
So
that's what makes him Skepta.
exactly, you know?
Yeah.
And I learned that, Biggie Smalls, I learned that from you. Once again, I'll say it.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Your music has so much plays, like, on your SoundCloud and stuff. Like,
Not so much.
Well, in Ottawa, like, you have, like, thousands and stuff, you know?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It
needs to be millions.
Really?
It needs to be millions.
Oh, it needs to. Yes, it does.
Yes.
Have you, like, ever expected that? Like, how does that make you feel? Seeing that you have so much people listening to you.
I remember the days where I was sitting there and my songs would get 32 plays. And I'd be like, yo, I can't wait till the day I get 100. But then when I got 100, I was like, yo, why isn't it 2? Then I got to 500 and my friend came up to me. He's like, it's at 500 plays. I was like, yo, that's sick. But like,
you have a track where it's like 52,000. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but like again, when I see that, it's all I don't know where it's the. I'll wake up the next morning. I feel nice about it, you know.
Mm-hmm,
I just dropped a video yesterday. It got like 100.
So
I mean, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It got like more than 1,000 views in a day, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. Your visuals are really good.
I appreciate that a lot, yo.
How do you think of that? Like,
I usually don't even have a. I promise you, I usually have a little bit of a part or a say to do with it, but it's all. Yo, when it comes to my visuals, I've always worked with people who are great minds. James Harkness, who did my first video, great mind. SVDM and Ty McNee directed my second. Once again, 2 very creative people. They had 2 very good ideas, you know. And then the third video, Colm Harvey and Michael Delaney. Thank you very much, Colm and Mikey Frames and Hunter for editing it. But I only have 3 music videos out, which is unheard of to other people. I need to start making more. But even to those people, you guys, they all are. They're artists.
Mm-hmm,
you know?
Exactly. That's what a director, filmmaker, and all that.
Exactly.
You have to have a good mind and be creative and stuff.
So I put my trust in them and allowed them to kind of give me and kind of, you know, maybe we should do this, maybe we should go here.
Mm-hmm.
But the number one thing I try to do, try to put in at least something that you've never seen before in a music video.
Mm-hmm.
And number 2, I like probably I'm not going to say I'm going to invent something because I'm never going to do something that nobody's done in a music video because people have obviously done so much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll obviously try to do something new. And you have to do something that's relating to you have to capture the vibe of the track, right?
Mm-hmm.
The latest video I released was the outro to my album. So it had a really spaced out a really like close. The song itself, I'm speaking really directly to the audience member.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really focused on me. And at the end, it like fades out and the music even stops and it continues fading out. It's like a farewell, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? The video has to be in cahoots with the music too.
Right.
I guess you could say.
Okay. So now I'm about to ask you.
Oh my gosh.
You want to freestyle for me?
I don't know if it's going to be good.
But you get to pick the beat though.
I get to pick.
I'm going to put a quick beat, yeah. What do you want to rap on? Do you even want a beat? Or you just want to?
Well, yeah, cuz I want to spit something off the dome too.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you want a beat, right?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I don't really know. I can't I would rather you surprise me with one.
I should have made a list of beats, but do you want like a common one or one that no one ever uses?
I want you to pick. I want you to use your executive make an executive decision.
Okay, well, I was talking to one of my friends about like my upcoming interviews and he was like, you should make them rap on something common, you know, like the race or some shit like that. Nah. No?
Well, I don't care if it's something common like that. Just don't tell me what it is before you put it on.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yo, can you turn it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa. I'll go like you saying. I might cop me a new chain. I be sipping muddy wine glasses. Ain't worried about finances. All this money I'm making, I might take a vacation. I ain't about the conversation. I got my hoes waiting. Now I'm freestyling like whoa. Now I'm coming in wildin', whoa. I'm ready at the show. Yeah, you know it's Young Show. And I'm off the top of the dome. Y'all niggas we already throw. Y'all nigga you already know. I'm coming in off of the dro. I'ma switch to that flow. What? You don't do the I lost it. Thank you. The first, yeah.
That was really good. I wish I had an audience.
Throw me another one. Throw me another one. Throw me another one.
You want another beat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah. I bought the ice stuff for Leap. Playing for Keith. Suck at the game shit. Okay. Whoa. Young Show. Yeah. Young Shogun, I don't play round. You be listening what I'm saying now, and I'm coming in, I be spraying now. You know this is my town, and I'll tent when I ride round in a Benzo truck. Whoa, you know what's up, yeah. When I'm rolling up, hey, pull up the private party and we rolling blunts. I don't know what I'm saying, in off the brain. I'm kicking it with RBLX. Yeah, you know we already up next. I'm coming in, you know that flex. Whoa, get it back. Young nigga, I'm splitting raps. Know some niggas just flipping crack. I'm coming in with the illest raps like I just said that again. Coming in, I just mentioned it. Whoa, okay, pause, yo.
Is it too much?
Geeked up on a Monday. Shawty rolling up that funk sway. She say she hate what I became, but deep down I'm still the same. Better now cause I'm getting paid. Now it's creme brulee on my dinner plate. I might go and get the new J's. Feel like Snoop Dogg in that blue suede. I hold it down like every day. You just do what your friends say. I'm in dry fit tech, please. Watching for the police. $1.50 on the dash. That should throw you back in the seat. You a stingy ass nigga. I make sure that all my niggas eat. 89.1, what? I be spitting them tracks, what? Yeah, coming in, yeah, whoa. I don't never relax, I just come in nice now, I be on this route, I be color like Gucci, yeah, you know, make movies, Young Show, I gotta even know what to say.
That was great, that was sick.
Thank you so much. I had to freestyle, and then I had to go, I was losing it, so I had to spit a little bit of it written in there, but yeah, I got it back again.
That's good. Okay, so we've been here for like almost an hour and a half.
Doesn't feel like it.
I know, right? Can you tell me something? Can you tell me any projects coming up? Any ideas you have in store that you're working on for 2018? Anything new coming up that you would let us know about?
This is the first time I'm announcing this to the public. As I said earlier, it's not that I'm starting to make like flexing type music,
right?
But I'm just able to do things now in my life that I've never been able to do before. So with that, it's brung new subject matter that I'm able to write about that you've never heard from me, because I'm not gonna go ahead and make a song about a car or something that I don't have, right? So now that I'm able to do these things, for example, on my last album, I made a song called Backdoor, and it's about the fact that I like going through the club through the back door. I don't like waiting in line in the front. And that's not me being bougie. It's just like, that's something like, bro, I just don't, you know? I've been hassled by security guards who haven't taken time to figure out who the performing artist was, who are...
And it was you?
Exactly, and they're not trying to let me in.
Wow.
Even though there's like a pre-organized, like, I was supposed to be there at this time, I'm supposed to skip the line, I'm supposed to go do my mic check. No, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? It just, anyways, there's subject matter. You know, I write about things that actually like happen to me. So things new have been happening to me that are a little bit more like flashy, you know? So I have a little project. I don't know when I'm going to drop it, but it's already done. And it's 10 tracks long. It's called Gold. G-O-L-D. Gold. The Gold EP by Marico the Shogun. And I don't know. It's just shedding new light on a new lifestyle that I've been living.
Positive, right?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So stay tuned, guys. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this a lot. It was very much fun.
Yes, it was very fun. And I'm so comfortable. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
No worries. I will be back a second time.
Yes.
After I drop Gold, maybe.
Yes, actually. That'd be awesome.
Word. Peace out.